Well, if you don't mind, I'm going to use this real estate with you, Tom, to help me prepare for Sunday night's broadcast on our network with the Patriots taking on the Broncos. And what should I know about Belichick and Kraft and the way this is playing out over the final 3 weeks of this regular season, Tom?
Here's what I would fairly tell you, Rich, about where things stand in New England. There is no firm decision. There is no firm plan. There is a lot of different things that could play out here in the coming weeks, and this may well extend deep into January, if not February, before it gets sorted out. So let's go through, the various things that could take place here. Obviously, Bill Belichick could get fired. I'm not anticipating that that's how this is going to be framed at minimum, and I don't envision that's how it's going to play out. You could work out a trade for Bill Belichick. Obviously, last year, you've got the precedent of Sean Payton, the way that Mickey Loomis handled that, which was, here's the price. If you're willing to pay this in terms of draft picks, go talk to whoever you want. Go find that. Go find the contract. Come back to me. This is the price. This is what we're moving you for. Bill Belichick is, he's in his 70s. He's quite possibly the greatest coach who's ever lived. But in terms of it being a long-term type of a build, it's probably not a fit. So where does Bill Belichick potentially fit in terms of head coaching vacancies? I do think that there's something to be said. I don't know that this is going to be what takes place by any stretch, but there's something to be said for a team like the Chargers that has a quarterback, that has a veteran team, that maybe is not quite as far away as if, say, you went to, pick another team here. He's not going to the Raiders, but let's say the Raiders, where realistically there's probably a lot more surgery that needs to take place and it's a longer term build. So a trade is possible, but what are people willing to give up? On what timeline would you do that? And there is certainly also a possibility, and I would fairly tell you, Rich, this is a possibility that you could retain Bill Belichick in New England for 2024, potentially with some changes organizationally, changes with the coaching staff. They're not going to come back with the exact same staff, the exact same structure, everything the same, and run it back in 2024. I think that that's fair to say that there's, a lot of frustration there for everybody involved. You look back in recent years here, and it seemed like you've had at various times different plans for what New England wants to do. It was, okay, Josh McDaniels almost took the Indy job in 2018. We bring him back. Okay, this guy's going to be the quarterback of the future, or the coach of the future. Well, no, a couple of years later, he ends up moving on. Bill Belichick's still there. He goes to Vegas. Now it's been looked at in a lot of corners as Gerard Mayo is the next head coach of the Patriots, and quite possibly he will. Mayo, at this point, well respected in terms of the guy he is. He obviously had a really good playing career there, has not coached that long. Bill Belichick runs every aspect of that football operation. So are you going to take 35-year-old Gerard Mayo and drop him in and say, you're running the entire thing? Is he ready for the magnitude of that? Is he ready to be a head coach? Those are all questions that they need to ask here. And if the answers are we don't have the successor in the building right now for 2024, then potentially your best option is try to adjust some things, make roster changes, coaching staff changes, maybe front office changes, and keep Bill Belichick in place. It's not now, again, Bill Belichick has a lot of control over everything, again, including personnel. There are certain things he may not be comfortable with. And there's on a certain level, when you've got Robert Kraft putting out a statement about Gerard Mayo coming back, when you have fingerprints on like the Bill O'Brien offensive coordinator move that appears to be a Robert Kraft driven move, how does Belichick feel about his ability at this point to thrive and run the program the way that he wants to in New England? All of which is to say, Rich, you've already had various reports about this has been decided, this is done, he's gone. I would tell you this, and there's a lot of moving parts here. I do not believe, based on every bit of information I have, that there is a final decision. I do not believe that there is a singular plan that they're driving toward. These are conversations that Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft have not yet had, and that Robert Kraft, Jonathan Kraft, and others are trying to figure out what the best way is to navigate these waters going forward.
Yeah, and I think you said the most important thing is, what does Bill think? You know what I mean? Like his thoughts on what he wants out of this, I think will play a large role in it, regardless maybe of how the last three games go. Certainly if they wind up maybe with the first overall pick. I mean, like, that is entirely out there. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.